In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Adobe Photoshop Gradients to create a project similar to this one. First of all, go to File, New to create a new document. I'm going to choose Photo and the first option, 7 by 5. I will title this Gradient and put my name on it. And I'm actually going to call it number 1 because I'm going to plan on making a few of them. And then click the Create button. To make this fit the whole screen, I will choose Control 0 on a PC or Command 0 on a Mac. The Gradient button is this button right here in the toolbar. And you can see that because I have black and white chosen here as my foreground and background colors, that's what color my gradient will be. I can choose to choose different colors by clicking on this menu option up here, and these are the defaults. So I'm going to choose this one right here. And I have this first option selected in my gradient choices, which is a linear gradient. So now I will click and drag with the cursor on my background, and I can click and drag in lots of different directions. I can click and drag from the top or the bottom or the sides and get different effects. Now let's try different types of gradients. In the Layers panel, I'm going to click it down here to open it up more. And if yours isn't showing, just go to Window, Layers, and it will pop open. So in the Layers panel, I'm going to click the Create New Layer button, which is this button right here. Now I have this layer 1 with this checkerboard pattern. The checkerboard pattern is a symbol for transparency. Now I'm going to open up my choices again and click this gear icon and load some of these options from this these other types of gradients. So I'll choose color harmonies and I'll append that, and you can see that those have been added to my list. And I'll go back to the gear and I'll choose noise samples and append. You can see that those have been added. I will choose special effects and append that, and spectrums. So go ahead and take a minute to add a few different types of gradients to your chooser here. Next, I'll choose maybe this one. And I'm going to choose a different type of gradient. The second button over is the radial gradient. So I will click and drag, and the radial gradient makes circles. So you can try it, drag it different ways until you drag the cursor different ways until you get something that you like, and when you do, go ahead and stop. So you can see over here in my Layers panel, I have my original background layer still intact, and I have layer 1 above it. What I'm going to do now is use my blend modes. So right here in this box where it says normal, I'm going to click to open that and choose the first one, which is dissolve. Now that this is highlighted blue, I can simply use the arrow keys on a PC. Unfortunately, this doesn't work on a Mac, and I can go through these one at a time and give different effects. If you're using a Mac, you have to open up the list and go through them one at a time. So I will go through these looking at the different effects. And then when I get to one that I think I like that one, difference. So I'm going to stop right there. Now I will make another layer. So I have background layer 1 and a transparent layer 2 on top of that. And I'll choose the next gradient over, which is an angle gradient. So let's choose a color scheme for that. Maybe this one right here. And I'll click and drag an angle gradient on there. And I'll just keep trying it in different ways until I find one that I like. So I think I'm going to stop right there. And then go back to my blend modes, start at the top with dissolve, and click through them until I get an effect I like. I kind of like that one. So I'll stop right there. So again, a new layer. So now I have transparent layer number 3, and I'll choose the next gradient over, which is a reflected gradient. So I'll try some new colors. Let's see, maybe this one. And I'll click and drag this on here and see the effects. So you can drag a short line or a long line. I'll stick with that. So back over here to my blend modes, and I will start scrolling through these. So I kind of like color dodge. I might come back to that. Lighter color. Okay, I like exclusion. And for my last type of gradient, I will make a final layer, so a transparent layer number 4, switch to the last type, and this time I am going to try one of these gradients that has lines in it. So this has black, because black is the color that I have chosen down here. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on this and choose a different color. I'll choose this, this purple color. Now, with this, bars, if I click and drag on here, I can actually put multiple gradients on here because it is transparent interspersed with bars of color, so they all show up and they don't cover each other. So now I will choose dissolve again in my blend modes and go through those one at a time until I like my choice. So I like to lighten. Let me go back up to lighten. There we go. Another thing that you can do is rearrange the layers. So I think that this is a little bit domineering, so I'm going to move it down to one of the lower layers so that maybe it doesn't show up quite so much. And I actually maybe, I kind of like that effect. The other thing that I can do is change the opacity, so I can change this from 100% down to something else. And if I don't like one of the layers at all, I can simply turn the eyeball off and stick with the layers that I have. So I will play around with this and try different options until I think that it looks good. And then I will save that by going to File, Save, and it's titled Gradient with my name on it, number 1, and I will navigate to my storage area and click the Save button. That's it for this video.